everyone. Debbie Birdsmith here. I just wanted to come on real quickly. I know that it's running a little bit behind the time that I expected to be on this evening, and I was, as you saw probably in the post, I had invited Mother Gabrielle, and I haven't heard anything from her. So please, keep her in prayer. Keep me in prayer. It's possible that I completely, I don't know, could have messed up a day or time, or it could be that she's detained in some way. So I didn't want to keep you all waiting and wondering what was happening with the webcast, and I just wanted to come on and let you know. But let's make the most of it. I know you weren't expecting to hear from me tonight, particularly, but I did just want to just talk a little bit about the subject that I had spoken with Mother about, and what we would possibly talk about, and that was how the divine will transforms our lives. And so, I can just tell you a little bit about how I see the divine will has transformed my life. And I would say, because as many of you know, I came into the divine will about a little over maybe 8 years ago. And when I moved to Florida, I made a big move in my life, and came and joined the rest of my family here in Florida. And after living my entire life in St. Louis, and so I came down here, and shortly after I came, I was able to retire, and I was able to go to daily mass, which was wonderful. And I met up with a group of wonderful ladies in mass, and they invited me to their prayer group, and their prayer group led me to the Divine Will group. I had never heard of the Divine Will, and so I started attending this Divine Will group, and they were explaining to me what it was, and they had given me the books and everything, and so I started reading, and I can tell you that some of the things that have happened as a result of living in the Divine Will and reading the Divine Will, learning and more in the Divine Will, is, I think, the biggest transformation for me has been, number one, just a, a closeness with Jesus, and a closeness with God that I had never experienced before. And I think that the ways that I see Jesus talking to Louisa, and at some point I realized that Jesus was talking to me, and that what Jesus was conveying to Louisa was really what Jesus was conveying to me, and about this great love that he has for us, this great everything that he's done for us. And so um, that has been a huge, huge change, but also a huge change in the way that I've looked at the world as a whole. Because when I discovered that, really, I knew that God had made creation for all of us, but I didn't understand this this connection that we all had in terms of praising and appreciating God through nature, and uh, really acknowledging that this was just a great, great gift. And then, of course, a big part of that was understanding that we are in a new era. We are in a third era. We have the era of creation. We have the era of redemption. And now we are in the era of sanctification. And this era of sanctification is another layer, another gift that God has given to us. And I can say that for myself, it's certainly a gift that has given me um, knowledge. And I do believe that, Jesus tells us that we'll have infused knowledge as we grow in the divine will. We're just going to intuitively know. Our understanding is going to be greater. The other thing is this very much a sense of peace. The world has gone crazy, and I'm certain that this timing, of course, is perfect, and this timing of sanctification that Jesus brought to us, and has been given to us in the divine will, is in this very tumultuous time in history and in the world. And I think the greatest gift that it's given me, of course, is peace. In the divine will, we say fiat often, and our fiat is, thy will be done as you wish, Lord, in everything, fiat, in everything as you wish. And so I offer that tonight, and I was saying just a little prayer and sent Mother a quick little email. And fiat in everything, no matter what happened, everything happens in God's permissive will, and it's always for our good. So um, very little disturbs me anymore in terms of what everything that's going on. Even maybe I messed up on a broadcast, or maybe I misunderstood something, or maybe I mispaid a bill, or whatever. Um, these things happen, and we're to take them and use them, and grow from them, and accept them, accept them. And one of the things that I also have discovered so plainly, so clearly, is that I know I have a question here. Is Mother Gabrielle on tonight? No, I was just explaining that for whatever reason, I had scheduled Mother Gabrielle, and um, she isn't here, and I don't know why. It could be my mistake. It could be something that came up there. But I did just want to come on and let you all know that she wasn't coming on, because I knew that some of you were waiting, and I just decided to talk a little bit about how the divine will has transformed my life. So with that, I will just say good night and my apologies. And Mother Gabrielle will be back on. I can assure you of that. She is very, very gracious to me. She's very kind. She's very anxious to be on the channel, and is always. So I know that something, either I've messed up, or something's happened. They've got a lot going on up in Mary's Hill, to say the least, in transforming their living quarters and all of the things that they have. So we just pray that Mother is well, and that everything is fine. And hopefully this is my mistake, and my sincere apologies to all of you, if certainly if it has been my mistake. And just wanted to let you know. But again, once again, I just want to reiterate, all of these things happen in God's permissive will, and they're for our good. And maybe this, teaches me a little bit more patience. Maybe it teaches you a little bit more patience. Maybe it teaches us a little bit more acceptance. I do know that acceptance is a really important element of my peace, because when I have acceptance of whatever is coming to me, I have to either, I really do have to accept it, because for one thing, I have no other choice. But it teaches me something. It shows me something whenever I'm frustrated, or um, confused, or whatever it is. So I thank all of you. I thank all of you, faithful viewers. You've been so wonderful. Your comments are so wonderful. You're such an encouragement to me. And you're also such an encouragement. If any of you have been on Divine Will 101 recently with Dawn, I'm kind of, bringing Dawn along. She was a little shy about appearing on the channel, but she's doing such a wonderful job. And God has been so gracious to me with the channel. And, I keep offering my fiat. And yes, Stella, everything is fiat. Everything is fiat. And when we give ourselves over, I mean, this whole idea of the divine will is to completely lay down our wills, to completely surrender ourselves to God, and to do, obviously, all of our acts in the divine will. But however they turn out, however they um, complete themselves, that's up to God. I do what I'm supposed to do, or what I think I should do, and then I just leave the results up to God. I know that one time I learned something that said, It's when we begin to conform our will with God's that we begin to use it rightly. And I lived by that for a very, very long time. And then I discovered the divine will, and I abandoned this idea of it's when we make our wills conform with God's that we begin to use them rightly. We may use them better, but it's really when we lay down our wills and we turn it completely over to God. We can turn it completely over to the divine will and say, fiat, 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 thy will be done. Um, Help me to discern, help me to persevere, help me to do my part and what I'm supposed to do. But mostly, help me to lay down my will because, I'll be the first to admit I can be a very strong willed person. um, I don't like it when people tell me what to do. I don't know if any of the rest of you have that issue or have ever had that issue. But that's just part of my personality, part of my being. That's this distorted use of my will, and I have to continually work on that. And uh, and so each of us must just do our best every day. I encourage you to do your best every day. And I also encourage you that if you have a bad day, or if it's not working for you, or if it's, the day is just not working for you, we all have those days where it just it just doesn't feel like anything goes right. I had one of those days a couple of days ago, and it just didn't feel like anything was going to go right that day. And I guess we're having a little continuation of that tonight, but that's okay. It's okay because God is with me, and God knows. God knows our hearts, and this is one of the biggest comforts of the divine will: is He knows our hearts, He knows our intention, and He tells us over and over in the writings. I know I take into account your goodwill, and I take into account your goodwill so much that even if you forget, even if you mess up, even if you don't think that you did it right, I take your goodwill into account and I give you the credit for it, just as if you hadn't forgotten or you hadn't kind of maybe not done it perfectly. I still give you the credit. I'll do it for you. And then it's as if you did it yourself. And so this is the love and the graces that He showers on us, that even when we mess up, or even if we've, had a bad day, or, whatever, He knows our intention and He knows our hearts and our goodwill. Who could ask for more? What a wonderful God we have. What a wonderful, wonderful God we have. He is so much a blessing to us. And I'm just so grateful for, I'm just so grateful for what the divine will has given me. I'm so grateful for many of you may watch Father Celso on the channel. I'm so grateful for Father Celso. What a holy, wonderful man who's been a great guidance to me, a great support to me, and a great teacher, a great director for me. And again, Mother Gabrielle, Daniel O'Connor, all of these people who live very, very closely to the divine will that, will share with us. And because I very much consider myself kind of just an audience like you, when I have these guests on, I'm learning, I'm, trying to kind of surreptitiously take some notes. I don't want to look like I'm not paying attention, but, some of the things that they say, I just want to write down. And so, again, I thank you so much for your support. I thank you so much for your prayers, and and just for listening, and just for acknowledging the divine will. Right now, we have a lot of people who are kind of confused about the divine will. We have people that are. Someone sent me something today about a video that they saw on uh, EWTN, where Father Mitch Pacwa had really I think he called the divine will diabolical. And this is something that we have to resist, and we have to have patience with. because many, many, many people don't understand the divine will. They don't really know what the divine will is. And, I always say I shouldn't be the person that's on here teaching this. I should be just the person listening to a priest who's teaching this. But unfortunately, our priests don't. A lot of our priests don't know about the divine will, or um, understand the divine will. But God will take care of this. I truly believe this. God will take care of this, and so we're like we're like the little uneducated, stupid disciples who were the fishermen who followed Jesus around and went, "Huh?" But he wanted to teach them. He wanted them to know. It wasn't the scholars that he went to. It wasn't the Pharisees that he went to. It was to the fishermen. Because the fishermen, I believe it's because the fishermen had a very different kind of relationship with God, and I hope that we're having a very, very uh, different kind of relationship with God. Um, Mary, you're mentioning Monique and Ron. Monique and Ron are actually on Mother and Refuge, and I was on Mother and Refuge for well, ever since it started, and I still appear on there occasionally. And I know that Ron still considers me a member of the team, so I kind of sneak in there every once in a while and do what I can. But I can't take really any credit for what's going on at Mother and Refuge anymore because I'm kind of a little bit over here because. Ron has a lot of different things that he focuses on. I wanted to do this channel because I wanted something that focused almost exclusively on the divine will and exclusively on growing in holiness and in virtue. Why? Because I need this so desperately. um, and I think that we all do. We all need to grow in virtue and in holiness. I listen to the saints very often, and I'm so grateful for this because it's given me, even the divine will has given me a new insight into the saints. One of the things that I've noticed, and I've had other people tell me they've noticed the same thing as well. It's like when you buy a new car and all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. You never noticed that car so much before, but now you see it everywhere because you have that car. Well, it's been the same for me kind of with the divine will, because after I came to the divine will and learned about the divine will, and it became such a central focus of my life, everywhere I see the divine will now. I hear it talked about among the saints. I see it in the scripture. I see it in, other people's talks. And this idea of the divine will has always been there. It's always been God's intention, but he didn't give us the same avenue that he has with Louisa. And he made our Louisa the little daughter, the firstborn of the divine will. And what a role she's had to take on. But she will help us. Another thing, can the divine will be legitimate? Well, Louisa Picaretta is a blessed. The writings have the Nihil Obstat, which is even better than a I'm sorry, I keep fooling with my hair so much. My bangs have grown out. I can't think it in my eyes. The Nihil Obstat is better than an imprimatur. This is coming from the magisterium of the church, saying there is nothing in the writings that is contrary to the teachings of the church. Now, I don't know how much more confirmation that we can have. Not to mention Padre Pio, Hannibal de Francia, who is a saint. Um, uh, Many people who have referred to the divine will or refer to the divine will, who are holy, holy people. The evil one wants to do everything he can to destroy this movement. He wants to do everything he can to shut people up about the divine will. And I've seen this personally in my own, in my own experience here. Sometimes things happen. It just, um, he interferes a lot of times. And, but we have to be determined not to let anything deter us, because we're this little army that God is forming in order to bring about this new era. He's always wanted for us to on earth as it is in heaven. Oh my, yes. Let us have heaven on earth. Let us restore Eden. And when we begin to study and understand the divine will, it becomes so clear to us how how this is coming about. I do believe that we're going to have the warning. I do believe that we're entering the chastisements. I do believe that there's going to be some very major events that we're probably going to have to endure. But I also know that the writings tell us that we are marked. We are marked. The little children of the divine will are marked. It tells us in the hours of the Passion. If one person in the town will read the hours of the Passion, the town will be saved. For every word of the hour of the Passion, a soul is saved. We're giving so many promises through the divine will. We just have to persevere, keep offering our acts, keep staying in grace, living in the divine will, and allowing this plan of God's to unfold. Our Blessed Mother is here for us. She keeps trying to lead us, warn us, encourage us to pray, to stay on point, keep saying those prayers. Exactly, Stella. We are seeing everything connected in the divine will. There is no separation of anything. It's very beautiful. It's very exciting. And if you don't think it's exciting, then I suggest that you watch Father Celso talk about courage on the channel, because I know that, we do those. I record those and then put them on the channel. And so I get a first run of this. Father and I spend some time before those recordings are done and after those recordings are done, talking about things and talking about what's happening, and talking about how we live this life, understanding that big things are happening, big things are happening, and everything is connected in the divine will, and everything means something in the divine will. Divine mercy came to us first, really, because Jesus, I trust in you. We must have this trust in Jesus, that whatever we're seeing, whatever is happening, that it is happening, maybe not in God's directed will, but in His permissive will. We have a will, and it's the one thing that we truly own, and He's not taking it away from us. He's like, knock yourself out. If you want to, if you want to live in your own will, and you want to do your own thing, and you want to deny me, ignore me, uh, refuse me, you could do that. I'm just trying to stop you because you're going to pay a price. And I don't want you to pay that price. I love you. Any parent of any child wants to protect them from things that are going to hurt them. This is exactly what God does for us every single day. And He's given us this great gift that's like a shield around us. I always think about that movie, The Boy in the Bubble. And I don't know if any of you are familiar about The Boy in the Bubble. And he had to live in the bubble because if he got out, he wouldn't be able to survive. Well, I believe that our Blessed Mother and the divine will has put this little bubble over us. That's not to say that we can't be physically harmed or that we even won't be killed or die. But we are protected. Our souls are protected. Our minds are protected. This body doesn't really mean a whole lot. We're pretty much in love with it, but it doesn't really mean that much if we could understand eternity. So I'll kind of quit rambling on now. I just wanted to jump on. I didn't mean to take up a whole bunch of time here, but I did again. I did want to give you an explanation about Mother Gabrielle, that somehow we've crossed purposes here, and she didn't come this evening. I don't know why. And we also just want, we're in the cups. We are in the next phase. And Mary is saying, I actually reading about that today in Garbrielle journal. I feel we are on the cusp of the next phase. with the Father for the warning and the chastisements. It's time to stay strong now, absolutely. And as I say every single day, pray for perseverance. Um, uh, Pray for strength of mind, body, and spirit, because God will give us uh, whatever's necessary for us to persevere. But we have to ask for it, and we have to correspond to the graces that He gives us. He gives us so many graces. If you have this grace that you have some time, and you think, well, I have this little extra time. Maybe I could say a rosary. This is a grace from God, or I can go do something else. This is a grace from God. We must correspond to these little uh, nudges that we get from the Holy Spirit. That's what I call them. Just little pushes, little nudges, little reminders of maybe you could say an extra rosary today, or why don't you read an extra hour of the Passion today, or why don't you just read, meditate on this passage, and not worry about some of this other stuff, not worry about some of these other things. And I will admit to you that this is a balance for me that I have to do, because I love so much talking about the divine will, that I just want to come on YouTube and just share it with everybody. And I love your comments, because I feel like we're sharing and talking together, and just having some time together. And since COVID happened, and we've had so much separation amongst ourselves, thank God that we can go to church and be together, and that we can be around one another and our families. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know how long this is going to last, to be able to be on the internet. I do that. Father Celso, you know, um, believes that we may have some interruption at some point, maybe not permanent, but some interruption. And if we do, I just want to say, know that I'm praying for all of you, and I hope that you'll continue to pray for me. If for some reason there's something gets in our way, that we're separated from one another, because I do feel so connected to my viewers, and I hope that, and I pray that, yeah, you feel a connection with us. And when I say us, I mean not just me. This channel is not much me, just me, but it's Daniel O'Connor, it's Mother Gabrielle, it's Father Celso, it's people that are committed to the divine will, and uh, spend ourselves really in spreading the divine will, talking about the divine will, praying in the divine will. So I'll quit rambling on. I appreciate you so much. Let me put my email up. I do want to put my email up, because I know that uh, some of you uh, absolutely do uh, email me, and I love to see your emails and um, questions, or whatever you have, comments on the. You can comment on the broadcast. Also, if you can like it, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like the video, because it helps it to come up on the algorithm. Love you too, Dorothy. Um, uh, I love you guys, and I hope that comes off across the internet. Um, that this is a labor of love for me. I don't make money. I don't. I'm not getting paid. I'm not. I get the little pittance from YouTube, but believe me, it's a little pittance. I take it, and I give it to the editor that editors what videos we make, or the thumbnails that are made, or whatever. I pay him, and that's where that money goes. Uh, and no, I do this purely for love, and for love of God, and for love of you. And I thank you so much, all of you, for your encouragement, because we must. This is something that God has this great gift that God has given us, and we must we must uh, uh, live in this gift, um, because truly, he depends on it. Every act that we do, everything that we do in correspondence with with when we do our acts in the divine will, brings us that much closer, literally, to paradise, and it literally saves souls. So for us to, kind of rest on our laurels is not really an option. So have a wonderful evening, and we will see you very, very soon. I will, I will make sure that if I made a mistake about Mother Gabrielle, again, my apologies to all of you and to Mother Gabrielle. And if not, there's something else. Please keep Mother in your prayer, and we will. I can tell you for sure that she will be back on if she is able and well and everything is okay. She will absolutely be back on, as will Daniel. And of course, we see Father Celso. Father Celso, I just wanted to mention to you that Father Celso's on usually every Tuesday. I try to put his Courage series up at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. And also, I get many, many uh, his. His days of recollection. He offers these. He's doing these days of recollection all the time. This man works tirelessly, and he does these days of recollection where he gives us so much insight into the divine will and so much teaching. I try to put those up on Saturday, and I'm trying to get more consistent with the content and what I have. So I thank you. I encourage you to look for those things. And of course, we have Divine Will 101 on Wednesday night. If you have anybody, if you just feel like you need a little more primary information on Divine Will, it helps me. And I've been doing Divine Will now for quite a while. Um, and So we have Divine Will 101. And usually I try to have a guest on Thursday night. If not, I'll probably just come on and have a little chat with you like this. And so you can kind of get a rhythm here of what the webcasts are going to be. So I thank you all very much. I please pray for me as I pray for you. And let's all continue to live in his will. Good night.